Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This week I'm going to be talking about a slightly different topic, and that is self-care for writers. Just to give a mini update, I've received all of the feedback from my editor for my crime novel Every Time He Dies. I'm currently going through the edits and so far so good. I'm really happy with the feedback that I got and I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on this book. So I will continue to give you guys frequent updates, and I will of course be revealing things like the cover, the blurb, and the publication date as I finalize all these details. Now onto today's topic, which is a little bit different to what I usually do. Today I'm going to be talking about self-care for writers. We're all familiar with the image of the brooding writer with unkempt hair, leaning crooked back over their desk as they pen the next international bestseller, a bottle of whiskey carefully concealed beneath a mountain of notes and crumpled cardigans. Many famous writers contributed to this cliche through their substance abuse, intense isolation, and generally manic behavior. Little wonder writers aren't exactly known for having good self-care. We all experience burnout and writer's block at one time or another, and no author ever wants to hate this thing that we love so much. Writing itself is good self-care. I don't know about you, but if I'm not writing, I pretty much just turn into a resentful bitch. I'm sure this is something other writers can relate to, what with all these unexpressed stories and voices bouncing around in our heads. But you don't have to go insane to make art. In fact, it's very preferable that you don't. Self-care and productivity are not polar opposites. When you tend to your stress levels and take care of your mind and body, you are in a much better position to write something that someone will want to read. And that is the point of this whole thing, right? So today I'm covering the 5 ways that you can take better care of yourself and therefore your creative practice and your writing. Number 1, give yourself a freaking break. The expectations we put on ourselves are intense. I have to write today. I have to hit my word count. I need to write a guest post. I should probably start a blog. I really need to research an editor. An agent. I really need to start researching police procedure. How do boats work? Astronomy. I should release some beta reader and create a street team. So often we write a sentence, feel immensely proud of it, and then nitpick it to death because that one sentence failed to reinvent the wheel of this vast and complicated craft known as writing. Give yourself a break. There are many steps on the road to publication, and while it may feel as though we are behind in the publishing rat race, the truth is, we're not. Books aren't going anywhere. Neither are readers. Writers should do their best to make time for their practice, to educate themselves on the industry, and to put their best work out there. Books and words are powerful, but they're still only books. So don't let your perfectionism or that societal belief that productivity equals self-worth lead you down this destructive path known as burnout. Take the pressure off. Writing can be really fucking complicated or really fucking simple. Open a Word document, type some words, hit save, close Word document, get on with your life. Tip number 2, take an actual break. Reframing the way you perceive writing, your current work in progress, and the industry in general is vital if you want to avoid crumbling beneath the pressure of your own expectations. Sometimes that is not enough. Sometimes you need to take an actual break, as in go outside and lay on the grass with your dog and look at the clouds. It's amazing. The world doesn't implode. How long you take a break for is completely dependent upon you and your deadlines. Do you need to take an hour off after lunch, or maybe the whole afternoon? Maybe you need to take the whole day off, or the whole week. You may want to take mini breaks throughout your entire day, or set specific office hours, or organize your schedule so that you can take 1 or 2 whole days off every single week. Do you? Burnout and writer's block suck, but the good news is that avoiding and mending these nasty buggers is both easy and free. Take a break. Number 3, read for the sake of reading. Writers are told to read widely and to read as writers. The intention here is that you are reading in order to inform your own writing. By seeing the patterns and traits of other genres and other authors, you can adopt the best and leave the worst. The only apprenticeship a writer has is reading. Reading as a writer means that you are reading with a critical mind. You are analyzing the text. You are pulling apart the plot. You are seeing how each character is structured, what their motivations are, how those motivations inform the plot, yada yada yada. The reason why you do all this is so you learn the tools it takes to write a novel so that you can write a novel. Reading as a writer is exhilarating and exhausting. Reading as a writer is exhilarating because you're figuring out how you do this thing. But it's also exhausting. It also kind of ruins reading. Turning off that analytical lens can be really difficult, especially if you've trained yourself to read in this style. No reader appreciates poetic prose as much as a writer does, and it's likely that you became a writer because you read a book that made you feel something. Setting aside a little time every day to read something beautiful will help remind you of that fact. Number 4, work on something fun. If your writing is starting to feel a little rigid, or if you regularly find yourself cleaning the refrigerator when you should be writing, then this is the tip for you. Go and grab a notepad and a pen and spend an hour practicing writing exercises and responding to prompts. I highly recommend Natalie Goldberg's work, Wild Mind and Writing Down the Bones. Both are full of fantastic, inspiring, and really fun writing prompts and exercises. Of course, you can also find a squillion prompts and exercises online. Just go to Google and type in creative writing prompts. If you're working on a particular chapter and it feels kind of stuck, try working on a short story instead, or maybe spend some time writing a blog post or even an article. You don't have to actually publish this thing that you write. Not everything you do has to be exposed to the world, despite what social media will tell you. The purpose of these exercises is to make writing fun again. Whether you tap into this energy by writing a few pieces of flash fiction, an article about your dog, or completing a series of exercises is completely up to you. Or routine or spontaneity. Sometimes burnout may be the result of a stifling routine, or it could be because you lack routine. If you write at the same location, at the same time, working on the same project, hitting the same word count every single day, you're probably very productive and very bored. Are you an artist or a drill sergeant? Yes, we're all professionals here. We all know that we have to do the work, even when we don't feel like it, even when the muse is away. But Jesus, do you have to be so frickin' miserable when you're doing it? Just putting it out there. But why don't you try writing something different at a different time of day? Wearing different clothes, using a different pen, drinking a different beverage. Maybe you can organize all your writing friends to come over and have a sprint, or you can organize one online. Write for 10 minutes. Go stare at the clouds for 15, come back and write for an hour. Shake out those stiff writing muscles and try something different. Alternatively, you may be suffering from the exact opposite problem, which is a lack of routine. If you don't have a writing routine, if you don't know when your next writing session is, what you're going to write about, where you're going to write, how many words you're going to write, that's a whole lot of unknowns, and unknowns lead to stress and anxiety. If you are super busy because you have full-time work and a family to take care of, it's likely that you are constantly on the lookout for writing windows. That is, small little chunks of time where you can get down whatever you can in that amount of time. Maybe you scribble out scenes between doing loads of laundry, or maybe you spend your entire lunch hour working on the next chapter of your book. These are great practices to have, but you might also benefit from having a specific, non-negotiable time each week where you can seriously get some writing done. If you live with other people, just tell them, I'm unavailable between 2 and 4 every Saturday. Or whenever it is you choose. You're in charge of your schedule, you're an adult, do it. Better yet, leave the frickin' house and switch off all your devices when you do. Tip number 5. Eat well, exercise, and drink water. Writing is an intellectual exercise, but we still have bodies. Sometimes, when the muse has found us or a deadline is looming, taking the time to refill our water bottles, make a healthy meal, or exercise slip right off our radar. And yet, eating well, staying hydrated, and exercising are the most basic ways you can support your creative practice because you're taking care of yourself. If you eat badly, drink nothing but coffee, and spend 12 hours a day staring at a screen, you will feel crap very quickly, and your work will suffer. Eating well, drinking water, and exercise isn't fucking rocket science, so don't act like it is. As communicators and storytellers, writers have skills that others do not, and the world needs those skills now more than ever. Take care of yourself while you are writing and publishing your brilliant prose. That way, you can write and publish more of it. There you have it, guys. That's all I've got for you this week. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe. The button is below. Or maybe it's that way. Know that you can always check me out on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And I also publish a weekly blog over at taraeast.com. If you sign up for my newsletter, you'll not only be kept up to date with all of my self-publishing news, you'll also receive a free downloadable copy of my workbook, the Writers Kickstarter Pack, How to Create a Blog and Get Published. Alright guys, that's all I've got for you. I hope you've had a fantastic week. Go get some writing done, and I'll see you next time.